Objective criteria are factual pieces of information, independent of the parties in the negotiation, that are relevant to what should or should not be agreed to in that negotiation. As an example, in negotiating to purchase let's say, a particular car, we should want to look at what that car sells for at other dealerships. Principal negotiation produces wise agreements. The more you bring standards of fairness, efficiency, or scientific merit in your negotiation, the more likely you are to produce a result that is wise and fair. And also, a constant battle for dominance threatens a relationship. Principal negotiation protects it so that you both get a fair deal. Objective criteria tends to use more time efficiently, talking about possible standards and solutions. Developing objective criteria. Negotiation with objective criteria. There are three basic points when discussing objective criteria. Frame each issue as a joint search for objective criteria. Reason and be open to reason as to which standards are most appropriate and how they should be applied. And lastly, never yield to pressure, only the principle.
Oh, howdy, partner. I heard you were in the market to buy one of our cars here at the dealership.
Yeah. Looking to buy a Toyota Corolla.
Okay, so if I look here, the Toyota Corollas are marketed at 15 grand, I think.
No can do, sir. See, you want a price that's too high. I want a price that's low. Why don't we meet somewhere in the middle?
So what are you thinking here?
10 grand?
Let's meet at 12 then. How about that?
So how did you come up with that figure?
Well, I thought that we'd meet in the middle since I said 15, you said 10. 12.
Deal.
Great doing business with you.
Each standard the other side proposes becomes a lever that you can use to persuade them. Your theory is that the object in question should be sold for a comparable price as other similar items recently sold. For example, if they suggested the standard, they will feel more obligated to stick in the standard. Reason and open to reason. Negotiation is a joint search. Come with an open mind. Know that you're walking into a negotiation with the thought that you're going to gain some stuff and then you're going to lose some stuff. Never yield to pressure. Pressure can take many forms: a bribe, a threat, a manipulative appeal to trust, or a simple refusal to budge, even more. Invite them to state their reason.
In a distributive negotiation, if one person gets more, the other person gets less. It is a zero-sum game in which one person gains always come at the expense of another. Haggling over the price of a used car is an example of a distributive negotiation. For every dollar advantage you gain by getting the price lowered, the dealer loses by receiving $1 less. In a distributive negotiation, if one person gets more, the other person gets less. In the example of sharing an orange, one fair way to divide the orange would be to cut it in half, with each person getting 50%. If one person gets a little more, the other person would have to give a little less. It is a zero-sum game in which one person gains always come at the expense of another. Blame is something we do to make ourselves feel better about something bad that's happened. Blame may feel comforting, but it does not change the reality of what's happened. In an argument or negotiation, casting blame heightens tempers and causes embarrassment.
Oh, there you are. We have some business to talk about.
Nice to see you again.
So, the last time I saw you when you bought the Corolla, you said and we agreed at 15 grand.
You said 12.
I said 15, and yet you won't pay me my $3,000.
You said 12.
You're an idiot.
It does not help resolve anything. If you blame a third party, you merely reduce your credibility. If you blame the other party, they will likely stiffen their resolve. At the very least, they will be unlikely to want to cooperate with you. Blaming is an attempt to displace guilt. It is not an attempt to resolve a situation. Don't get caught up in the blame game if you sincerely want to find a viable accord. People granting concessions from guilt don't really want to do so. As with any coerced concession, they may later change their mind.
A wise threat satisfies your own interests and targets the other side's interests. Consider whether the threat will help you achieve your broader goals. Issuing a threat might provide great satisfaction, but it can also lock you into a course of action that could be costly. 3 factors you must consider before making a threat during a negotiation are: is your threat based on emotion? Will your threat incite a counter threat that ruins your own? And will the threat cost you more than it will cost the other side? Threats are not about punishing the opposition, they're about fulfilling your own interests. When you forget this important point, your desire to teach the other side a lesson may cause you to escalate a threat without regard to the toll it could take on you. Once you've determined that a threat will indeed serve your interests, make sure the threat will function as a motivator, not a punishment. Frame it in terms of how compliance will further your counterpart's interests rather than how non-compliance will thwart them.